Boneworks Update 1.6 has just been announced today on Christmas itself. I'd say this is one hell of a Christmas present from Brandon and the team over at Stress Level 0. Thank you. We have been waiting, and this is the perfect time to drop the update. Boneworks Update 1.6 is a Hover Junkers themed update. Obviously, if you don't know, Hover Junkers was one of Stress Level 0's first titles before Boneworks, and they're probably doing an homage to their earlier title. Today, in this video, I'm not going to waste time with any bullshit. I know I'm a small YouTuber and nobody wants to sit around and listen to my stupid voice. So, today, I'm going to be breaking down the trailer, reading through the Steam post, and then finally, I'm going to talk briefly about what I think this means for Boneworks and Stress Level 0 as a company. Alright, no more wasting any time, let's get into the breakdown. Okay, so in this first shot, it is very simple. We see what appears to be the ending of the main Boneworks campaign. Obviously, Chamber 1.6 would be referencing Update 1.6, and apparently this must be going in canon with the lore as well. If you don't know much about that, go watch Game Theory's video or Grease Scotsman. There is a lot of lore for this game, and it is very cool. So basically what this is the chamber, and it's kind of a canon way of putting us in a Hover Junkers world. So this is the first shot we get of the new map. It is very big and very open. As you can see, right when we come in, there are void particles sparkling around the doorway that we bust through, making me assume that this is extremely in canon with the lore, because we would be coming right out of the voidway into a new game, or reality, or whatever you want to call it. And if you look up the ceiling, obviously this is Boneworks' staple map wall and ceiling, which is the screens, but it sort of fades into sky, where it's concrete and then sky. You can also see there are windmills here. There are windmills throughout the entire map. The next thing I notice is there is a save point in the distance over there. There is a sign that might be directing you, as well as what might be a gun. Next shot is a good look at the outside of the map. It is scattered with signs, garbage, and hopefully a ton of secrets. Then we get another shot of the save point, as seen earlier, as well as the shop or main attraction right as you enter the world. I think it is titled Grunts something. I never played Hover Junkers, I'm sorry. And then the title card rolls across, and then we get to go into the fun part. But first, I want to talk about what I think this first beginning area is going to be all about. You'll notice there's a little key card slot, or a key hole. There's probably going to be a bit of a puzzle in the beginning here. And then I bet over time you're going to get enough keys, or you're going to take out enough enemies in this first area that you will gain access to one of the Hover Junker flyers, and then you will be able to access the sandbox. This is going to work very similar to the handgun range they added previously, where you actually have to do almost like a story-led mission beforehand, and then you get access to the sandbox. I think this is going to be the exact same way. I think this is a really good, I think this works well. This first area, even though it's not as big as the entire open flyable area, it is still very large, and there's a lot that could be happening in this area. Also, at the end of the scene here, we can see what appears to be just like a basic normal sandbox area, where you see the ammo machine, the weapon racks, and the enemy spawners. I counted through all the enemy spawners. I don't think they added a new one, but someone please correct me if I am wrong. Either way, I'm glad to see that they're actually thinking of this, because this is like a basement museum style level, rather than just adding the handgun range, where it was just a mission and then you gotta shoot guns down a hallway at the end, pretty much. So this is a welcome addition, and I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with it.
Welcome back! Please don't make a mess, though! I just finished cleaning this place up!
Alright, to start off the next scene, we hear the awesome new music kick in. I don't know if it's new, I don't know if it was in Hover Junkers, part of their soundtrack, but it's cool either way. And then what I'm noticing is there are Hover Junkers characters, like probably from the game, and they seem fully interactable, which is awesome. After that, we seem to go into some sort of cafe. It's probably the building we saw earlier. There is a ton of stuff to like dissect in this room. I am not going to do that because it's not like this is a trailer and I need to dissect everything because the game's coming out in a year. This game's coming out in a few days, or this update. So I'm not doing it. I cannot, for the life of me, read what is on that clipboard in the cafe though. God, somebody with a better monitor and high resolution, please read that for me, because I want to know what that says. Otherwise, I'll just find out when the update comes out. And then lastly, we get our first look at one of the new guns. And at first, I was like, oh, awesome, new laser gun. And then I realized it's just a pistol with a different art style. And that was still okay, but then I also realized it has all the same sound design as the pistols already in the game. And then I realized that's kind of lame. Whatever, I'm not complaining. We got stuff. We got more stuff. That's awesome. Alright, now we got the next scene here. This is pretty easy. We see probably another Hover Junkers character. Well, both shots we've seen of the robot and of this character, they have not been moving on their own. The player has been manipulating them with their hands, which unfortunately leads me to believe that these are not actual like Fords or null bodies. These are just props with physics. Unfortunate, but hey, I could be wrong. Let's see what happens in the update. The next thing we see here, if I stop the footage right here, is that there is a puzzle piece painted onto a windmill, and anyone who's played through the campaign knows that puzzle piece means you gotta do a puzzle. Right after that, they go flying, so this is obviously related to something. If you look here, there are crates in the distance. Don't know if those have any relevance or if they're just props. All you can see other than that is a sign on the ground and a shit ton of rocks. And then to end off the scene, they are near the spawn beacons or the spawnable locations, and they are just using the new gun and they are blasting through nobody. Alright, so now we get our first shot of the actual Hover Junkers vehicle. It appears to be the exact same that it was in normal campaign. If we look at this shot here, he is flying next to an AI Ford. Yeah, I don't know if these Fords are just standing on an autopiloted vehicle or if they actually have to be on it for it to work. But hey, I think it's pretty cool either way. The only difference to the actual Hover Junkers vehicle that we can see is that there's the big chain rope hanging off the back. Obviously, this is for the player to board enemy vehicles. God, I never thought I'd say that in a Boneworks update. The Fords appear to just be normal Fords where they're not hostile until you are hostile towards them. And then there's this podium in the center of the big open area. And it's the same like gravity thing you pulled the key out of in like the tower mission in the campaign, and it holds another new gun, which we are going to talk about later because they talked about it a little bit in the Steam post. But this appears to be a developer weapon, seeing that it has a big screen on the back, which makes me think it's a utility gun of some kind. Maybe to spawn in new item. The other possibility, the obvious one, looking at the front of the gun, would be that this is a flamethrower of sorts. It's not that I doubt stress level 0, but that seems a lot of effort for just what appears to be a somewhat reskin for an update. So I doubt that, but that would be awesome. The only other things to note in this scene are that there's a giant statue made of junk. You'll probably be able to land and find stuff there, maybe fight enemies, who knows. It's a big sandbox area. We're going to have to do more exploring than trailer breakdowns. I mean, I'm not going to find anything just by staring at a screen all day. God, what am I doing with my life? Alright, so in this next shot, we start off by looking at more gameplay of fighting flying Fords. God, that's also a thing I never thought I'd say in Boneworks. In the background of this shot, you can actually see what appears to be the signs that we saw in the beginning, so that just must be an explorable area. This next shot is, holy crap, didn't see that coming. There's a cave full of crystals of some kind. Probably just a cave in one of these giant mountains that you can explore through. Hopefully this thing is full of collectibles, but we'll see. And then in the next shot, we see more awesome gameplay of boarding an enemy Ford's ship. And the first thing that came to my attention is this Ford is smart enough not to walk right off the edge. So the AI must be trained somehow to not just go into attack mode and walk off their ship. They're like bound to it, which is perfect because nobody wanted to deal with that janky bullshit. Also in the back of the shot, you can see a building. Whether or not these are accessible, who knows? If they are, that would be really cool. And then we get another nice shot of the skybox, the big screens. More windmills, more gameplay, and then we see our character flying towards more windmills, and then what appears to be a sunset. Probably not, but that'd be cool. Yeah, and then it flashes brand new sandbox. Da 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 da. And then we get stupid at the end here that fucking crashes this dumb shit. Alright, now here we are on Steam. This is the 1.6 announcement on Steam. They have some actual unique footage here. You can see the actual collectible for the hover junker plane, whatever you want to call it. And then more shots, some we've seen. We haven't seen that one. Haven't seen that one. And then he grabs this light. Nothing crazy, except now we know you can actually collect the hover junker vehicle. Basically, the post says as this. It says they've been hard at work on the core and future titles. So that's probably, the core is probably their physics engine, and they're working on new games. That's why this update, although it doesn't have much in it, took so long. Boneworks is no longer their priority. And I'm not complaining, because I'm ready for a multiplayer physics VR game. I think that sounds amazing. And it says right here, enjoy this update in 4 days and look forward to 2021. The future is bright for physics VR. Heck yes. So right here they have, you can finally reclaim the flyable hover junker ship, and then the desert sandbox is now available. You get new hover junker physics tool, so it is a physics weapon, and new handgun. And then it says right here, better VR in 2021. So this is what I was talking about in the beginning. I want to give my thoughts on what this means for stress level 0. The minute that the updates became more and more spaced, I knew they were working on something else. They had to have been, because after a release like Boneworks, there's no way they could not do a follow-up game. So, I'm highly anticipating early in 2021, we will get a trailer for a new VR title by them. If not early, then maybe mid, but it's gonna happen soon, because it's, Boneworks was them developing their physics engine, which took a long time, but now that that's all built, all they have to do is texture a game, write a story, they got the hard part out of the way, now they just do the fun part, and I think we're gonna see more than one VR title very soon. Alright guys, if you did enjoy this video and find it helpful, or if you noticed things that I couldn't figure out myself, please leave a comment down below, consider liking and subscribing. I do a lot of fun mod reviews and content creation on Boneworks, so if you enjoyed this breakdown, please consider subscribing. Thank you, and I'll see you soon.